I used to deliver pizzas for a local shop in my town to help pay for college. It was easy money for the most part, but one rainy Tuesday around 11:30 p.m., I got a delivery that changed everything. The address was for a house located at the very end of an unlit dead-end road on the outskirts of town. When I pulled up, the entire house was pitch black except for a single upstairs window. I grabbed the food, walked up to the front door and knocked. No answer. I rang the doorbell twice. Still nothing. I pulled out my phone to call the customer. After 3 rings, a harsh, static-heavy breathing filled my ear. "Hey, this is the delivery driver. I'm outside," I said. The voice on the other end was a raspy, quiet whisper. "The door is unlocked. Come inside and leave it on the dining table." Every single instinct in my body screamed at me not to do it. I politely refused, saying I'd leave the food on the front porch instead. There was a long silence on the phone. Then the whisper returned, sounding much closer this time. "I'm watching you look at the door right now. Walk inside." I froze. I slowly turned my head toward my car and saw a tall figure standing right behind my driver's side window, holding a heavy tire iron, silently staring directly at me through the rain. I dropped the pizza box, bolted to my car, slammed into the driver's seat, and locked the doors just as the guy smashed the tire iron against my rear glass. I jammed the car into reverse and tore out of there, calling 911 the second I hit the main road. When the police searched the property, they found out the house had been abandoned for 3 years. The person who placed the order had used a burner phone and was waiting in the driveway for me the entire time. Last winter, I lived alone in a small rental house near the woods. To feel a bit safer, I installed a motion-activated security camera pointed at my front porch. One night around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed with a notification. "Motion detected at the front door." Thinking it was just a stray neighborhood cat or a raccoon, I opened the live feed on my phone from my bed. The infrared camera showed my porch, covered in a light dusting of snow. Standing on the top step, completely motionless, was a man wearing a dirty winter coat and a full-face plastic clown mask. He was staring directly into the camera lens. My heart plummeted into my stomach. I sat up in the dark, watching the screen, afraid to make a sound. For 3 straight minutes, he didn't move an inch. Then he slowly raised his right hand and held a small, handwritten index card up to the camera. In thick black marker it read, "I know you are watching this right now." Before I could even process what I was reading, the power in my house cut out. Everything went pitch black and the Wi-Fi connection dropped instantly. A second later, in the complete dark of my bedroom, I heard 3 slow, deliberate knocks coming from my back kitchen door. I grabbed a golf club from my closet, locked myself in the bathroom, and dialed 911. The police arrived 8 minutes later, but whoever it was had vanished into the woods. They found 2 sets of footprints in the snow that night, one set coming up to the front door, and another set that went all the way around the back of the house, leading right up to my bedroom window. A couple of years ago, I worked the graveyard shift at a gas station right off the highway. From midnight to 6 a.m., I was completely alone in the store. It was about 3:30 a.m. when an old, battered sedan pulled up to pump number 4. A man got out, walked inside, and bought a pack of gum. He was wearing a heavy jacket despite it being warm outside, and he kept his eyes fixed firmly on the ground. He paid with cash, didn't say a single word, and walked back out to his car. I watched through the front glass as he got back into the driver's seat, but instead of driving away, he just sat there with the engine idling. 10 minutes passed. Then 20, feeling uneasy, I decided to check the store's outdoor camera monitors behind the counter. When I looked at the angle showing his car's backseat, my blood ran cold. The rear window was slightly cracked down, and through the glass I could see 2 small hands frantically tapping against the dark tint from the inside, like someone was trying to wave for help. Realizing what might be happening, I immediately ducked below the counter and hit the silent panic button to call the state troopers. While I was crouched on the floor waiting, I heard the store's automatic door chime slide open. Slow, heavy footsteps walked up to the counter and stopped right above where I was hiding. "I saw you looking at the monitors," the man's voice echoed in the empty store. "Get up." I stayed completely still, holding my breath, refusing to move. After what felt like an eternity, the headlights of two police cruisers swept across the store windows. The man sprinted out the door, jumped into his car, and sped off into the night. The troopers took off after him in a high-speed chase. I learned on the news the next day that the police caught him 20 miles down the highway and rescued a missing teenager locked in his trunk. I handed in my resignation at that gas station the very next afternoon.